welcome back to my garden. Today I am going to sow some garlic bulbs. I got these garlic bulbs from an Amazon seller. I'll put a link in the description of the Amazon seller that I purchased from. The reason I purchased these from Amazon and from this particular seller, Country Creek, is because they got like really rave reviews for these garlic bulbs. Now these bulbs are soft neck garlic bulbs, and I'm sowing these because I want to do the garlic braid when these finally mature. I'm gonna sow these now, and what'll happen, they'll harden throughout the winter, and by spring, summer, they should be ready for me to harvest. If you want to grow your own garlic, you really have to plan this out almost a year in advance. So that's why I'm doing this now, because for my spring and summer, I actually planted my garlic bulbs in March, and I'm in the northern hemisphere, so I planted them too late and I expected to get a harvest. But what ended up happening was I did get some garlic scapes that grew, but there I had some type of pest came in and just devoured them, just dissolved them, and I ended up wasting my money. So this time I got some really good garlic bulbs from a really highly rated seller, and these are my bulbs here. Now you don't have to plant these, you don't have to use these as seed bulbs. You can actually eat these if you want. But I bought these specifically just so that I can plant them. So these are the ones that I'm using. I'm gonna hold it up to the camera. This is the bulb I'm using. As you can see, it's a nice size. I'm going to hold this in my hand. You can see that's a really nice size bulb here. Now just turn it around so you can get a good look at this bulb. So I have a feeling I am going to get some really nice size garlic heads out of this. Okay, so basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, because it seems like it's kind of easiest from the bottom, but I'm going to take this and just take all of the peeling off of it and gently break this up so that I have my bulbs in the middle. Now what you want to do is you want to use your bigger bulbs, because by using if you plant your larger cloves, you're more likely to get a larger bulb out of it, and that's what we want. We want a larger harvest, so the smaller ones, what I'll do is I'll use these smaller ones in my cooking, and then the larger cloves like this one here, the larger cloves I will use in my garden. So hopefully you guys can see. So these larger cloves I will use in my garden. So plant this one, eat this one. So I'm just going to hold this out so you can see the difference. Let me take some of the skin off. So I'm going to hold this out so you can see the difference in the size here. So you see how this one is larger than this one. So you want to plant this one. Alright, so let's get started. And what I'm going to do, before I plant these, I am going to amend my soil with this premium seed meal. This is a Neem seed meal, and the reason I'm using this is because I don't want anything that's in the soil to consume, to think that I'm putting this out here for them to eat. So any critters that you have in the soil, or any critters that come along, they're going to try and eat your garlic, and I want to make sure that the garlic that I'm planting today is going to make it to spring, summer of next year. And when I used the neem oil on my plants, it actually worked really well. So I figured I would buy the neem meal for my seeds. I'm very confident that this is going to work. Now for this particular brand that I'm using, I got this off of Amazon. So I'm going to include a link along with the garlic bulbs for where I got this, and by purchasing using my link in my description, it'll actually support the channel and it'll help me to make more videos. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and just sprinkle it. And when you put this into your soil, you want to work it into the top 6 inches of your soil. So I'm putting this in my raised bed, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little on top like so. And you don't need a lot, I'm probably putting about a cup here. Now I'm going to plant my garlic bulbs in the front of my raised bed because I have some beets that are still maturing here, and once those mature, then I may put some more garlic out. It just depends on what I want to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this here, and I'm just going to work that into the top. I'm going to work it into maybe the top 3 inches of the soil because I'm not going to plant my garlic too deeply down. When you plant these, you want to have a little bit of the tip sticking out at the top. And then once I do that, I'm going to do a light pine straw mulch on top. And the reason I'm going to do that is to protect them a little bit, from some of the elements, from like wind and a lot of rain and things like that, but also to protect them from the birds, because the birds may see them sticking out and then come along and pick them up. So I don't want any critters in the soil consuming my bulbs, but also don't want the flying critters like birds coming over here and eating them as well, and just kind of like, working so hard to plant my garden. I want to be able to eat my food. I don't mind sharing with, the birds and the critters, but they have a tendency to take everything. So, I'm going to do the best I can to make sure, I have a little something for myself. So I've worked that pretty good into the top layers of the soil here, and I'm just using a regular raised bed soil, nothing special. And over time I may add more soil on top, so so they'll be buried pretty good. And then in that soil I'll do another, put some more of this neem meal in there. So I'm going to set that to the side. All right, and then so now I'm just going to go ahead and finish breaking through these. I'm not going to break through all of them because I'm not planting that many of them. So some of these I'm going to save maybe for next year. And soft neck garlic, it really does store very well. And that's the reason I decided to do the soft neck instead of the hard neck. Along with wanting to braid them, I believe they store very well. So I'm just going to put those. So I'm just going to use just this one bulb here and just take the larger pieces from it. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue breaking that up. And I'll be back. Okay, so now I have my cloves, and I picked 6 of the larger cloves from that one bulb that I used. And I was very lucky because I got quite a few larger bulbs from them. And you can see here, that's a really, really big one there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to space these out 1 foot apart. Now when you plant your cloves, you want to give them enough room to where they can grow. If you plant them too close together, you'll actually end up with smaller garlic bulbs. And the whole purpose of me sifting through these cloves and picking out the larger ones is because I want larger bulbs. So to ensure that I actually get those larger bulbs, I'm going to space them out 1 foot apart and give them enough room so that I can achieve that goal. Now this side of my raised bed here is exactly 6 feet long, so, and I already have my markings, so it'll be easy for me to eyeball about 1 foot apart. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with these. And all I'm going to do is, so here you have your end here, and I'll hold it up. So here is our clove. As you can see here, this is the bottom and the tip here is the top. You want your bottom here, see if I could get that to focus. So you want your bottom here to go this way. So when you plant your cloves, you want this bottom here and you want your tip at the top. You don't want to plant it laying down or upside down. You want to plant these this way. So down into this direction. This goes down into the soil. This piece here will stick out at the top. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do for each of my cloves. Okay, so I have my clove here, and I am going to just make, so this is my 1 foot. I'm just going to make a little hole here with my finger. When I garden, I use my bare hands. It's, you know, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but that's just how I'm gonna do it. You don't have to do it exactly as I do. And I'm just gonna have a little piece here sticking at the top. So again, bottom at the top. So that was about in the middle of that 1 foot. So here I have another 1 foot, and in the middle about right here, I'm going to plant my second one. Okay, so now that I have planted my garlic, I'm going to give them a good watering, and then I'm going to put some pine straw mulch on top. I'm just going to mulch this little area here where my garlic is at, because I still have other vegetables growing here, and you know, they're doing just fine, so I don't want to bother them. So I'm just going to mulch with some pine straw in this one front area where my garlic cloves are being planted. Okay, so now that I have completed my garlic planting and doing my mulching and watering, all I have to do now is to just take care of them, and then come spring and summer, hopefully I have some nice big garlic cloves. So thank you again for joining me, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. That button is down there. And also if you want to further help support the channel, you can go over to my Amazon page. I'm also a writer, and by reading my book, it'll really help support me so that I can make you guys some more videos. All right, well, thank you for joining me again today, and I'll see you guys later.